First off, rest in peace, neighborhood nip. I ain't crip, but I'm on that neighborhood shoot. Building business, it's that black owned. If you hustle, better hustle till your pack gone. If you work, better work till your back hurt. And if you rap, make it better than your last verse. Yeah, more lyrics. Move Javante
AJ, El Presidente, Eddie Kane University. Hill gon' heal, regardless. You, Buchanan, Bethel High School, by way of 3-Man Weave, LLC.
Michelle, producer, Faith Over Fear.
You can catch this wave from the Marlins to the Mariners. Doing things you can't believe. It's the 3-Man Weave.
What up, what up, what up? It's another episode of the 3-Man Weave podcast. I am the hostess with probably about half, not the mostest. AJ, Mr. Williams, Mr. Underscore Williams. I should what?
You should just pause that anyway. Just think about that. Thinking you the mostest. What that shit you on, bro? You know what?
Happy Pride Month, everybody.
Happy Pride Month. You know what I'm saying? Happy Pride Month. You know what I'm saying? That's how we starting off. Hey man,
yeah,
quick little story about Pride Month. Yo, I was at work and they had an event in DC and they was leaving. You know, they left DC, you know what I'm saying? And they was going back home. Hey, they showing me love. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So, hey,
you so almondy.
Yeah, everybody good with me. You know now, let me clarify. They ain't show me that type of love, like AJ just said. But you know what I'm saying? It was very monetary. You know what I'm saying? So that's
monetary.
You can make it a good. Hey, just know that community is good with me, dog. For real. All jokes aside, though.
Nah,
you know
for real.
Shouts out to y'all, man. And the reason why I keep saying y'all, because I don't even want to mess up the acronym. You know what I'm saying? So
LGBTQIA plus.
See what I'm saying? I ain't want to disrespect them, but hey, shouts out to them and continue doing what y'all doing and live your life, man. Hey, it is what it is, man. We're grown now, right?
Keep sticking together and fight the good fight.
Yo, also, I'm Hill. First of all, before we move on any further, you know what I'm saying? Hill go Hill regardless, man. And obviously AJ is too. But while we here, man, and we ain't gonna stay here because we ain't trying to get canceled any further than what we think we might have done already. But they should be able to take a joke at this point, yo. I think they should be able to take a joke. Like it depends on the joke. Depends on the joke.
My thing is, because I do consider myself an ally.
Me as well.
I joke on everybody. So it's not coming out of a place of, you know, with malicious intent or anything like that. Mm-hmm. I'm an equal opportunist, so everybody gonna get these jokes. I joke on Black people. I will say there's probably some shit that's in the group chat from, you know, that happens with all people, creeds, and colors that would probably get me in trouble because, you know, I sometimes do not have a filter, but it's all out of love.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying, man. I think at some point, like sometimes you can't say
y'all just get along.
It's like you can't say nothing. Like, yes, we can say something, bro. Like if it's done with if it's coming from the right place.
Right. You know I'm not doing anything with any malicious intent.
Yeah, you know, and like I said, we came with the right place, man. So shout out to y'all. But it's also more important, we are men. And men's mental health matters. It should matter to everybody. You know what I'm saying? This is men's mental health month.
All mental health matters.
It really does.
It really does. But this is the point. Hey, you see where it matters too? Hey, this is what we're talking about. It matters. Like, it matters.
It matters.
It matters. No. That's all we try to say. It matters. We're just trying to point that out.
And just do what you do, man. You do whatever you got to do to, you know what I'm saying, to keep your mentals in order. You know what I'm saying? Feel free to reach out to your folks, man. I do understand that, you know, social media is also a tool that you can reach out reach out to your folks with. You know what I'm saying? You don't necessarily have to have a full-fledged conversation with your people, but you know what I'm saying? You send them a reel every now and then, you know, say, oh man, I'm thinking about you, or remember when we did this, or this is a favorite movie, or something like this, or, you know what I'm saying, something that you thought about this person for, you know what I'm saying, that is a form of communication. But if you don't communicate with your folks like that, man, you know what I'm saying, shoot them a text, dog. You know what I'm saying?
And to kind of say something that you said, also stop letting social media trick y'all and the stuff that y'all doing ain't manly. Because like I saw a post where somebody was like, oh yeah, me and the homies about to go see the new Marvel movie, and it was like, bro, you going to the movies with some guys? Like, yes, I'm gonna go to the movies with my friends. Like, ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing like, you know, sus about that. Like I think, you know, what people have to fail to realize is it's like nobody can make you something you're not. So if you scared to do something, then it's probably because you live in a life you don't want, like you really don't want to be living, and you should probably live in your truth. And it's okay. It's okay. Like, but, and you know, so that's what I'm saying. Like, hey, do the things that make you happy, live the life that you want to live, because at the end of the day, ain't nobody out to look in the mirror but you for the decisions that you make. So, you know, that's all I'm gonna say. Men's mental health matters. And to speak,
to that,
you know,
to that point that you made, I definitely didn't mean to cut that. That was a good segue that you was about to make, and I'm sorry. But to that point you made, like, man, ideally, of course, I would definitely want to go to the movies with my lady. You know what I'm saying? But if you think about it, bro, like every movie ain't for each other. Like I shouldn't have, like,
it's okay to have interests that y'all have outside of each other. Because you know what I do not want to be doing when I'm watching Deadpool is answering questions about the movie that I haven't seen yet.
Exactly. Like I say, the Madden movie is coming out. I'm going to the movies and actually going to watch this movie.
You have no reason to be here.
Yeah.
Did you play Madden 97?
Yeah, I'm not taking her to that. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's gonna be a waste of everybody's money and time. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so prime example, you know, me and Cannon may be out. Hey, come on. Hey, me, Cannon, my line brother Q, we may be out on some line brother-ish to go watch the Madden movie, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? So just do what you do, bro. You know what I'm saying? And we all going back home to our respective, you know, individual, our ladies. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So it's men's mental health matters, you know, month matters, all that, man. Yeah, just do what you do to make. You know what I'm
saying? And I want to thank you, Hill, during mental health month, because you prevented me from taking a shot of bleach dealing with the Cincinnati Bengals.
Bruh, I feel you, dog. I this point, we can take this off. Dealing with the Cincinnati Bengals, bro, it has to be frustrating now in this era. Because I remember you growing up, and like you like say you from Cincinnati, you care about your team, and you only, you know, care about your team to a high level. And like you say, it's different when everybody gets to talk about your team, and like I say, when they talking about your team and it's not in the highest light, it's like, all right, bro, like, where was y'all at when I need y'all? Bye. When y'all didn't care about us, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And that's my biggest thing. And one of the biggest things that I've always said is like, like on most platforms, even when we're doing good, the negative is what is actually what gets talked about. Mm-hmm. And even then, like even during our Super Bowl run, every single week, it was like, nah, they ain't finna do this. Like, the offensive line this, or they ain't doing this, or they're not doing this. They don't stand a chance. They don't stand a chance. Oh, it's a fluke. Mm-hmm. And so it's just like, dang, can we just like get props from, you know, time to time, like, and act like, okay, this ain't like we're not the only team that's terrible. Like when the Browns had a roster in preseason, oh, this is a Super Bowl roster. This and that. Like, damn, can we get a little bit of love? I just want a little bit of love. A little bit of love. Is that too much to ask? But now, what Don DeMarco say? Shit like that. It's stuff like this which causes the issue. Now, but I'll get to that. I'm gonna let you go first though before I start
Well, I want you to set the table of the actual topic. For first off, if you're not understanding where we've been alluding to so far, we're talking about Shemar Stewart. Dealing with a contract situation with the Bengals, and before I am going to set the tone. I'm going to go first, but I do want you to give a brief overview of what's really going on in this situation about his contract.
All right, so pretty much what it is, 17th overall pick in the NFL draft to the Cincinnati Bengals, has been missing, some of the off-season, activity. So OTAs,
Ain't no song.
Okay. He has sat out all of them. He sat out OTAs. He sat out mandatory minicamp, and he actually left early for mandatory minicamp, I believe, yesterday. And all of this comes because they cannot agree on offset language that is included in the slotted contract. And so because he hasn't agreed to that language, he has decided he's not going to participate in anything until that is rectified. So now I pass it over to you, Mr. Hill. Give me your thoughts.
First off, like I said, for them to try to avoid, for any situation they're trying to avoid all this, if they happen to have to avoid
not any situation.
Okay, say it. Say the situation.
So it's not any situation. So it's any situations that any conduct detrimental to the team. So like any suspensions, arrest, anything like that. So if he gets suspended for domestic violence, if he gets suspended for PEDs, if he gets suspended for anything like that, it's not just you didn't come to practice and now we can void all your guarantees. It's not anything where they could just be like, hey, you're not performing. We can void all of your future guarantees. It has to be something that is deemed like a suspendable offense.
Yeah. So
by the league. So
that's the case. Now, some teams only specifically void that particular year.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? So, and I want to emphasize some teams. Now, some teams do have this language in their contract, in their rookie contract, that, like I said, you get suspended for all the things that you listed out, they can void out the rest of your guarantees. That's not nothing new for other teams.
For sure.
Prime example, the Giants. Tom Pelissero reported that the Giants have this in their in their rookie contracts, but they have this for everybody. So it ain't like
Abdul Carter
just signed this. You know what I'm saying? So okay, so it's like, okay, boom. All right, man, damn, everybody else did it. I get it. You can try to be noble and stand up to the clan and and do what you got to do, but at the end of the day, if everybody have done it, you really like, who are you to try to come change the I guess the norm? Now, for example, the difference is with the Bengals is he the first one.
For sure.
And I get it. If I'm Shemar, I'm like, hey, listen, bro. I understand what y'all trying to do. I get it, but I'm not about to be the first one to do that, dog. I can't. If I get it, if this is what y'all been doing, cool. I gotta sign up for it. But this ain't what y'all been doing. So
absolutely,
I ain't signing up for it. Now, sometimes the way it was reported, it was kind of skewed, made it look like he was getting killed. He was getting killed.
But I will say, the way it was reported in some platforms, he was getting killed. And other platforms have been killing the Bengals. Let's not, like I was gonna say, let's not just kind of all put it.
But we also know how people do. Like I say, we know how people only respond to the negativity. Like I say, so he could be looking at his timeline, and next thing you know, he can say, oh yeah, you doing this right, you doing this right, you doing this right, you doing this right. And next thing you know it, he said that negative, and next thing you know it, he responds to the negative. You feel what I'm saying?
Sure.
We know how that go. So in his mind, in his algorithm, he getting vilified. He like, whoa. What we not about to do is make it seem like I'm the one in the wrong here. So let me clear it out. Let me clear the air.
Right.
Now the thing is, things that he said is bold, is brass. It is true. Sometimes you ain't always got to tell the truth. You know what I'm saying? That's some advice that somebody probably should have gave him. Hey, listen, bro, let us handle that. You don't need to be going here talking like that. That's why I kind of think he's ready to take this to a whole nother level.
And unfortunately, I think after those comments he made, he has to.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he has to. And that's where the issue comes. And one thing that was like, I was hoping could happen with this, you know, when it kind of first came out, before it got too noisy, that they could have done this thing like they did with the Joe Burrow contract. Because both parties, Duke Tobin and Joe Burrow came out and said, yeah, we're not going to be negotiating this contract in the media. When it's done, and y'all will hear about it. Y'all will be the first to know. And that's how it happened. And so even on the places, like even on those platforms that tried to kill the Bengals, like, oh, you're not going to sign your quarterback, you're not going to do this, you're not going to do that. They both knew, even if, there were things that, offers that, the Bengals made to Joe Burrow, and he was like, fuck no. And or if Joe Burrow asked for something, the Bengals was like, absolutely not. It doesn't allow the outside noise to kind of put the battery in anybody back. It's just like, this is bro. Sometimes negotiations, like, they get nasty because and like it's gonna get nasty. And unfortunately, that's like it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's like because it's a compromise sometimes, and that's what sometimes like it's like, okay, I want this. It's like, okay, but we want this, and sometimes y'all may not be able to get like, okay, but if you want this, I need this, and then it's just kind of like it's like a tug of war until we can just kind of be like, you know what, we're here, and both teams can be like, okay, I don't feel like I got the raw end of the deal, but it's like, okay, I'm cool with that. To me, when a negotiation is done right, I feel like both sides be like, that ain't that bad.
Yeah, we cool.
Like, all right, I can live with that. To me, that's how a negotiation is. Like, I can live with that. And so one last point is, I just feel like, and I'll let you go and then I'll kind of retort. But one thing that I've said from the beginning is, this isn't a contractual issue. This didn't blow up because of the contract. It blew up because of the lack of participation. If he was at OTAs, if he was at mandatory minicamp, and they were doing this, it wouldn't be this big of an issue. And so that's always been my point when I said I think he's having bad representation, because, hey, you can go ahead and participate in these things, and if anything happens to you, you get your money.
Yeah,
you get your bread. And so if you just participate while these negotiations happen, you don't have to be sitting in your locker looking all distraught, and you can still negotiate these things. And guess what? If it lingers into training camp and it doesn't get done by training camp, that's when you can start being like, oh yeah, like I can't believe that this is still happening. They want me to sign language that their other players do not have, and this and that. And that's when you can like really start kind of putting their feet to the fire, because things are like the time frame is starting to like really creep down. And the last point that I'll make is also, I think that when it's like when you're not doing certain things like this, and it's kind of like you're still kind of like, a part of it, and you're participating and stuff like that, and none of it has really gotten out, I think the other side also is willing to make a little bit more concessions.
Oh yeah.
And so I think now it's like, oh, the Bengals kind of got to dig their heels in. It's like, oh, you think we soft? And we know the Bengals don't like budge often. So it's also like, but if it's quiet,
yeah, you took it there.
Like, if it's quiet, then it's just like, you know what? Okay, how about this? We offer you this, and this to be able to get this in there and stuff like that. And you can have those quiet negotiations. But now it's like someone putting the battery in your back, like, yo, I bet you won't slap me in front of the whole school. Well, it's like, well, shit, all right.
I got to slap you.
I got to slap you now, because now people gonna think that I ain't gonna slap them.
Yeah, I seen a dude get whooped like that, bro. Like,
bro, we used to do this. Like, because you know how motherfuckers be shoulder to shoulder, man. Like, you swing first, you swing first. We'll come up, put a stick on somebody's shoulder. I bet you won't knock that off his shoulder, though. I see somebody say, what? Woo!
And then
fight's over.
Yeah.
Well, should have gone first.
Back to what you were saying, when you break it down to the fact that he's not participating at all makes it absolutely worse. That is the key. Like I said, we all know, well, I'm not sure if everybody knows, but you can sign a waiver as a rookie and you be able to participate in OTAs and minicamp without your contract signed. Now, training camp is a totally different situation. So like you said, if he would have just signed a waiver like every other rookie has signed and participated in OTAs and minicamp and then said everything that he's already said at training camp, he would have everybody on his side. It wouldn't be any issue with him whatsoever. I think the initial problem was when the report initially came out. You could correct me if I'm wrong. You correct me if I'm wrong. The first thing that somebody said was, I think it was Pat McAfee. Correct me if I'm wrong. They said, "Who the hell is this guy's agent? Oh, he got a new agent. This guy doesn't know what he's doing." So you hear that part, it's like, hold on, bro. Like, y'all don't really know what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
But then
I got to ride for my mans.
Right. But then also it's like how it completely flips, where it's like, oh, you see it and it's like, oh, who's this guy's agent? But now it's like, oh, yep, same old Bengals though, from these same sources to kind of, make things go a little bit easier. And even then, also some of the reporting was incorrect because a lot of it was, oh, the Bengals are trying to, stiff him on this injury waiver so he can do if he gets hurt, they can keep their money. When it was never that, it was the offset language.
Oh, yeah.
And even once we knew that it was the offset language, some of these outlets, Adam Schefter included, didn't report it 100% accurate. They still put certain things in to kind of paint that picture like, oh, the Bengals are trying to set a precedent that teams don't do. And it's like, well, not exactly. Some teams don't do. There are some teams that y'all respect that do this. And so one of the points that I was making is, like, to go back to my participation issue, is one thing that's causing this issue is they both have points, because Shemar is saying your last two rookies don't have this language in it, regardless of if everybody else in this rookie class has this language. Your last two don't. But the Bengals are saying, hey, pick 16 and pick 18 got this. Yeah. Pick number 3 that plays your same position has this. So it's like, yeah, those past two don't have it, but more teams are like now doing more teams have been adding this clause. And so we are adding this clause to go along with what the trend of the league is. And it's kind of like, well, when it comes to when it comes time for you to get paid, you don't want to get paid like the last two people. You want to get paid like where the trend is going. So again, that's where things have been kind of at a stalemate. Like, oh, don't do me like, oh, what you've done, like, don't do me different than what you've done for the last two. But then the Bengals are okay, but this is like, things are different. The last two, actually, they don't get as much money as you do as the year goes. So that's what I'm saying. It's just like times change.
With that last point that you just made, say if you want to, so when it comes to contract time, you want to get paid like everybody else, right?
For sure.
So why ain't pay Trey Hendrickson? You feel what I'm saying? So if he's looking at hold on. If he's looking at it like that, so if you use that point to him, and he's like, yeah, you're gonna look at the rest of the league and you're gonna get a contract like him. So so why is you trying to do the same thing like that? He'd go say, so why haven't you paid Trey? So why haven't you given Trey Hendrickson the Max Crosby contract?
Because most players in that, because as much as I hate this, but also going off of Bengals precedent, when dudes turn 30 with the Bengals, they normally don't sign them. Unless you are already under contract, unless you are already under contract, and that extension takes you into your 30s.
Repeat that, bro. Repeat that. Repeat what you said. No, repeat what you just said.
Unless you are unless you signed your extension prior to your 30s, or unless you are already under contract,
the Bengals don't what?
Normally sign players in their 30s.
So once again, now you're going back to what the Bengals do.
Mm-hmm.
You feel what I'm saying? Now you feel what Shemar said. So you now feel FC. So now you feel what Shemar said.
All I'm saying
so
is
now
both,
you're going back. So now you're going back to what the Bengals do.
But I've also said both.
Both sides have points. I'm giving the retort. Giving the retort if it's him.
Right, and so
you can't pick and choose when you want to do what you can't pick and choose what the rest of the league want to do, and then you want to pick and choose what the Bengals do. You feel what I'm saying? Then you look at me like I'm the problem. I'm coming from a Shemar Stewart point of view, bro.
I'm coming from the Bengals point of view, just for the sake of this argument.
Mm-hmm.
But also, it's like there are other teams also that don't sign players, going into their age 30 seasons for, that top of the league, like, not necessarily top league, but even top 5 money. Because again, we're looking at the Steelers right now with TJ Watt. TJ Watt will probably get paid most likely.
Absolutely.
But I also think Trey Hendrickson is going to get a deal.
Daniil Hunter just got paid. He saved agents on Trey Hendrickson.
Right. And so I believe this deal is going to get done. But a lot of times, Bengals also, who on the Bengals has gotten signed in May, June, or July? They take this down to August every single time. And I hate it every single time.
Once again, bro, you're proving Shemar's point. Y'all are doing Bengals things, bro. You're doing Bengals things. So don't try to act like you the rest of the league when you don't operate like the rest of the league. You operate like the Bengals. So give me the deal that you gave Amarius Mims. But I will go push your pad. You know what I'm saying?
But look, bro. We also signed Amarius Mims in July.
We got 4 more minutes on this. I'm just letting you know.
Okay. But we also signed Amarius Mims in July because his contract wasn't done until July because we was waiting on Dallas Turner to sign his deal.
Mm-hmm.
Because we were structuring his deal exactly how teams in the league were structured, like teams before us and after us were structuring it for those players at that time. So basically, it was copy and paste the language from the team before and the team after. And so now the team before and team after have signed. And so guess what we've done?
Copy and
paste that language. And so again, it's not so again, yes, we may be doing Bengals things, but we also are doing what the league is doing as well, just following that trend. Sometimes we may be slower to do it, sometimes we may be ahead of the curve, but right now, when it comes to contract, they slow. And so that's why I've always said, hey, they both have points, but because it went public, both sides got to stand tall.
And that's the point. The Bengals should be petty and draft his ass again next year. Now, that's the thing about it, my guy, Chris. They can't. It is in the collective bargaining agreement. If he decides to not play this year and sit out and re-enter the draft, he can re-enter the draft, and every team can draft him except the Bengals. That's crazy, but he got to be willing to take that. He got to be willing to take it there.
Yeah.
Because I think you already, and this is business, and we know business can get nasty.
I wish we just been able to get Walter Nolan.
I feel you. Business can get nasty. Business can get nasty, and then once you handle business, it's supposed to be water under the bridge. So I can see a place where if they can resolve this issue before it gets nastier, that it could be water under the bridge, and they can move forward amicably. Like, you know what I'm saying, and just go on based off how his career is going to go. But if he's willing to take it there, I think he got to take it there. And I think, once again, if he takes it there, it only is a disservice for the Bengals. Y'all need him more than he needs you, bro. I'm going to just say it, bro. Y'all need him more than he needs y'all.
I don't see it that way. And here's why.
Okay.
I don't see it this way because, one, it's not like he's like, I don't see him like, maybe it's because I didn't really see him as like this can't miss draft pick or someone that's going to just, as soon as he comes in and elevates this room. I think now with Sam Hubbard gone, I don't see anything different than that we're going to get from him that we can't get from a combination of Myles Murphy, Joseph Osai, and Cedric Johnson, and Cam Sample. And I'm not, and that's also with Trey Hendrickson in the room. Because again, I do not believe when Lou Anarumo was there, and I told you this, that Joseph Osai and Myles Murphy got their proper run because they kept Sam Hubbard on the field for damn near 3 downs.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I think I don't see Shemar Stewart as an upgrade over Miles Murphy.
That we'll be here all night if we want to debate that
For
part.
sure.
But
Sure.
That necessarily, like I said, that's draft pedigree stuff. Is what I'm saying, we draft nerds and stuff like that. I get what you're saying. I'm not even about to debate that part. But the fact that
of course,
you know what I'm saying, Cam Sample is coming off a torn Achilles.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying?
That's why I mentioned him last, because I think rotation. Rotation.
I get that.
He's
Miles Murphy, it, like I said, was defended correct. Remind me, was defending the run his strong suit?
For the most part, yes. But he did have a little bit more pass rush juice.
That's what I equated him as, is more of a pass rush. Shemar is already a way better run defender than he is an actual pass rusher. Like you say, he come in the joint, like you say, he could possibly give you Sam Hubbard, you know what I'm saying, value off rip. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say, like, it's the fact that y'all need him more than he, because once again, he can sit out, go ahead, get and train all year with NFL trainers that can get him, that can get him right. And of course, like I'm not looking at the draft next year, but I'm pretty sure with the combine that he already had, and the workout warrior that he already is, he can get drafted again, and we can start this over again.
Sure.
I don't think it's what I'm really saying is, I don't think this does him a dis. Sitting out a year, if you want to take it there, doesn't do him a disservice, is what I'm really saying. And we can move on.
So okay, all right, cool. Yeah, let's go ahead and move on, because
I'm gonna just keep messing with your mental health, bro. You know what I'm saying? I know your mental health matters, it's mental health money. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and talk to your therapist.
Right after I just gave you props for talking me off the ledge. Now I'm finna go pour some.
Yeah, I'm your real friend though. You know what I'm saying? KD.
Yeah, man.
Out of all the rumors, it's a lot of rumors. You know what I'm saying? New York calling. He's the number one commodity because a lot of people think that Giannis is not going to request a trade, and
Clippers just came out as a destination today.
And I ain't gonna lie, bro. I will go to Caden crib and let us record, and we will record right then and there at Caden crib if he goes to the Clippers. Let him go to the Clippers. Boy, I'm telling you, we are gonna find Caden. I'm telling you.
Boy, if he goes
to the viral.
Boy, I got some. The South got something to say.
Because it's like, hey, but it's like, because at that point, I want to talk to Ballmer, Steve Ballmer.
Yeah,
you ain't learned yet, bro. Like, I get it. You got money, dog. I get it. Big baller, bro. You haven't learned. You haven't learned from this. Like you just got away from PG. I get it. KD better than PG. I get it. It's not gonna be different, bro. It's not gonna be different. This was, once again, your best chance was to be different this year, and James Harden reminded you who he was. Just come on, bro. Just stop.
Stupid is and stupid does.
I get it. Once again, now the intriguing part of is the Spurs.
For sure. I think the Spurs is a real option. I think it's going to be a lot of people keep saying that it could get done in the coming days with the Spurs, but I think that, me personally, I think it can drag out a little bit, because I think the Suns are going to ask for a lot, and the Spurs are going to try and just be like, we're going to make these contracts work. And when I say a lot, I'm not saying like Wembanyama and De'Aaron Fox or something like that. No. What I'm saying is, a lot of people are saying like, the 14th pick, Devin Vassell, and some just some other pieces. But I think they're going to try and like maneuver something where they can get something a little bit better. Maybe like 14 in the future, or so things like the 14 future and Stephon Castle, and they probably gonna be like, no.
Whoa. Castle is not available.
But that's what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying. Like, you're going to ask for it, and I'm going to tell you,
That's what. That's my point. So you gotta. They're gonna be like, it's going to be some back and forth because just like, okay, but I think both, like, for this to work, both teams are gonna come away like, all right, we got KD though. The Suns will be like, all right, we got this, and this. All right. Almost like the Timberwolves in Knicks trade, where it was like, shit, we got Cat though. He can score.
That
and
was
the Wolves is like, shit, we got Randall. He actually, cares.
Let's go back to the Spurs thing.
Yeah.
I think the Spurs do win the deal. Whatever deal that they give up, of course, it's the 14th pick and Devin Vassell and whoever else they want to throw in other than, Fox, Castle, and Wemby. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, the Spurs win this deal. You know what I'm saying? Because they are going to be in position to actually do things. You know what I'm saying? Pretty sure that they're going to have the taxpayer exemption. Vet minimum is definitely going to want to go to San Antonio to play with this group of individuals. You know what I'm saying? Because this collection of talent is definitely slotted very well. You know what I'm saying? If I'm a Suns fan, it's like, man, I don't want that. It's like, I'm not a fan of Vassell at all. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
And I'm not saying that he's a bad player or not. And I get it. A change of scenery should do something. But you know what the change of scenery was? Getting Wemby. Getting Wemby was the change of scenery for your team, for y'all to actually be a real team. Like y'all was basically the Texas Wizards before Wemby got there. You know what I'm saying? Right. Then y'all got some real eyes on you, and then it was there for you to showcase your talent, and you didn't do that for me, dog. It was like I just couldn't grasp that concept for him, bro. Like, and I get it. So I get it. If you think that trading him and going to another place and him being free, he was free. He was free before Castle got there. He was free before Wemby got there. Like we
for sure.
We know who this dude is, dog. Like that package don't do it. Pause. That package don't do it for me, dog. Like, shouts out to him.
But the reason why I say that is because so I looked it up. So like one of the packages was Devin Vassell, Harrison Barnes, Keldon Johnson, and then like a Jeremy Sochan or Julian Champagny or something like that, and then a pick. What I will say is it doesn't.
That is what y'all need,
right?
Y'all do need all that depth. Y'all do need all that depth. You know,
and that's where I was about to go with. It's like it allows our team to have depth, especially if you can get a Harrison Barnes, you get some wing defender help, and somebody who could still score along with Devin Booker, and it gets you like you start working to get under that apron.
Yeah, I mean, you got to get. You got to get built. I'm sorry, y'all got to get built the fuck out of there, man.
Yeah, and that was like I said this in the group jokingly, but to me, I would take less from the Spurs if you can include, y'all got to find a third team to add in this trade to get a Bradley Beal trade. I'll take pick number 14, Devin Vassell and Harrison Barnes. If y'all can find a third team to go in this trade package for goddamn Bradley Beal.
They was ass. This King, they was ass.
The Texas Wizards that was a good one.
That was, but all right, let's get off. Let's move away from your team. But I mean, still your team. And we know the Rockets is still a part of the equation as well. Like I said, Giannis was the first piece of the puzzle, and it's looking like all indications of it that he's not going to request a trade. So,
and I believe that is smart from Giannis. I do believe that's smart from Giannis. And here's my thing. We're we starting to see where would Giannis go? So give me a team that you think would trade for Giannis.
Rockets.
What's he really going to get from the Rockets when they have to trade for him that he can't have in Milwaukee?
What the Milwaukee has no assets to get anything for him. That's the thing. Brook Lopez is a free agent. Dame is gonna miss a year. You have Kyle Kuzma. You don't have any draft picks to trade. You don't even have any tradable assets for real to go get anybody. So you're just hoping that this same team that you got is some vet minimums, you know what I'm saying, that are paying out, that'll play above their contract. And you think it's just the fact that we're in the East that Giannis is going to get us over somewhere other than where we really are. That's what you're hoping for in Milwaukee. You go to the Rockets and give up whatever they got to give up to get him. Somebody coming to Houston to play with them. You know what I'm saying? Somebody coming to play.
And so,
like
but
they'll get another taxpayer. They'll get a taxpayer or mid-level exception. Some vet minimums is definitely going to line up to come to play because they're going to feel that Houston is a contender and people like living in Houston. Yeah, and on the flip side of Milwaukee, of Milwaukee, I'm not saying that I'm not dissing Milwaukee like the people don't want to live there. I'm talking about the actual team construction. They're in a situation of nasty. They're gonna be nasty this year if they keep Giannis, and it's the fact that they can just be nasty. It's gonna be a nasty year, and they're gonna have now there will be a way better cap situation the next year, and they can do some things. So cool, but you got to. It's hard to sell. It's hard to tell somebody, "Hey, look, Giannis, we gonna be ass this year, bro." I know it's gonna be tough this year, bro, but next year we're gonna be lit when he can get out.
Right, but also. To me, it's like he can get out, and I'm all for doing what you feel is best for your career. But also, it's like you have a chance. Like, bro, you've already won.
The nasty.
And that's and see, and Miss King already knew where I was going with my point, bro. You are a king. You are a king in Milwaukee. No pun intended. You are a king in Milwaukee. When you retire, you're going to have a statue. Bro, if you retire as a Milwaukee Buck, you are going to be able to. Bro, they've had your brother on the team just because. The Nasty said he coming back next year. He said he back better than ever.
I'm back,
I'm back, baby. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, look.
Oh, the Nasty.
You think Ime gonna let y'all bring the Nasties up in that locker room?
Yes, you have to, bro, because it's Giannis, dog. Like, you already did what if you already did what you had to do to get Giannis, you're bringing the Nasty with him, dog. Greek Freak and the Nasty is coming. Like,
I'm just saying, man. Like, bro, you've already cemented yourself there, and you won a ring there. Yes, you may be ass next year. Not even maybe. You're gonna be ass next year. But we've seen, hey, come that following season, you could really put yourself in a position to really start doing some things that you want. And say what you want. Like, yes, people love playing in Houston, but we've also discussed, hey, just because you're a big market team don't mean you get all the free agents. We've seen tons of small market teams get these free agents and go there. So it don't so just because people may go to Houston to play with the Nets, Giannis, people will come to Milwaukee and play with Giannis because it's Giannis, especially if you get somebody who's like, hey, dog, I'm a shooter.
Well, we've already debunked that theory of
for sure
big market cities just always
we know that.
We get that. We already that's just a myth that nobody's just going to get rid of. The fact that this is how it goes. If you are viewed as a contender, these high quality vet minimums and mid-level exception players will go. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The Knicks are an example. No big free agent wanted to come play here. You are correct. Like you said, the last big time free agent that they really got was Amari Stoudemire.
I also count. I know he wasn't a free agent, but I also count Melo in that because
I did. He was. Yeah, I know. I was being technical.
He should have waited to be a free agent because that would have made that team so much better. But because of what they had to give up to bring him in, it ruined that team, and they That's why Tom Thibodeau, we gonna get there. But
yeah.
anyway,
yeah. At the end of to be technical, like I said, the biggest free agent that they've gotten in the last years was Amari Stoudemire. Like I said, but I know. What about Brunson? Brunson was not the big name free agent. Y'all hated Brunson when she got him initially.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I know he turned out to be the man, but if they would just do things right, they could be the team that's getting these vet minimums. Man, it's just
And
matter of fact, can we go there?
One more second. My last point with Giannis is this kind of blends like what me and you used to talk about. We used to always talk about what you want to be. You want to be a legend in the game, or you want to be a legend at the bank. Yeah. I think if he stays in Milwaukee, like he can be one of those, like, not just local greats, but one of those names, because people always talk about, oh, you know, he won a chip, he stayed down, he was loyal. So even if like he won there, and if that's what, like, especially if that's what he wants to do, if you really want to have that lore, and just like when people say the Milwaukee Bucks, they think of Giannis. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have the opportunity to do that. They can pay you whatever you want and still be able to bring people in. It's just, hey, sometimes you got, hey, little bit of hard work. Hey, look, even low manage a little bit next year if you want to. Y'all gonna get a decent little pick and all that good shit, and then you have some money left over to play with. And also, again, you know,
I don't think they got picks in the near future, bro. But go ahead.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because they traded for Dame
and Kuzma. Okay.
All right, why would you waste some picks on goddamn Kuzma, man?
Yeah, they were trying to go for it for your man. Like, it's nasty. But at the end of the day, when you think about it, I seen it. Draymond episode, they was trying to diminish Giannis' legacy of the hierarchy of all time power forwards, and it was like, I kind of hate these conversations when people are still actively playing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
I would like to wait till he's finished and then, like, let's rank. Like, because we
don't know what else can happen.
Yeah, because he, like, of course, he's still putting up numbers, and he's still one of the top 5 players in the game and all that. But like,
what if he get one of them late rings like Steph did?
That changes a lot. Like, but what if he don't never get a ring? Like, what if he don't never get a ring, but he's still putting up numbers?
Exactly. What if he go on like a 3 MVP run?
Yeah, I think he done getting MVP, but I feel what you're saying.
No. I'm just saying if he just go on a run like that, and like, you never know.
It changes the conversation. Like, we can't. That's why I really do hate having these conversations with dudes that's still playing. You know what I'm saying? But man, let's get to the Knicks. We ain't gonna be here all day with the Knicks. I should have put this part when we talking about Kevin. That still had Shemar Stewart on there. But the Knicks, man, bro, the Knicks are interviewing or requesting to interview everybody that still got a job, and they're getting denied. And I believe that they are doing this on purpose. Like, I 25% feel that they are doing this on purpose. And then the 75% feel, I think that they really believe that, hey, man, we're the Knicks. And they should want to come coach the Knicks because we're the Knicks.
You can't even get the players.
You know what I'm saying? So, but that's that we know, bro. We've dealt with New York people. Oh. New York people have a delusion that we can't fathom of. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I got New York folks. I love my New York people. I'm 5% from Harlem, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's just like some of the delusion that New York has.
Yeah.
It's
like,
it's just,
and to me, so Miss King says they already have who they want in mind. They just buying time.
That is a theory.
It's a theory, but I don't necessarily believe that.
I'm gonna go with that. Let's stay with this theory. Let's stay with this theory right here, because I've been explained.
So the reason why I don't necessarily believe that, because to me it's like, what are you buying time for? And what are you trying to request all these interviews with these people for? And I know what you're about to say because of this person, but to me, if you have your person in mind, it should, to me, it seems like, okay, we are an organization with a plan because we're not trying to do all these things and getting rejected. We had something that we knew, hey, we're doing this for a reason. Because it, like, to me, it ain't like you won 22 games and don't nobody want to go there. Bro, you're coming off back-to-back 50-win seasons and an Eastern Conference Finals appearance. And it ain't like you've been in this position for 12 years straight and ain't got over the hump. You know what I'm saying? Didn't nobody have you as a championship contender anyway to come into the season? So it's like, if you're gonna fight, like, if you're gonna have this, like, if you're gonna make this move, to me, it should look like a calculated move, not like we're just trying things. And this don't look like a calculated move.
It doesn't look like a calculated move. I think the calculated move was we were gonna fire Tibbs. We was playing on fire Tibbs regardless of the result, and we just been waiting to hurry up and fire Tibbs. That looks like the plan. All right, bet. What Miss King say? Hold on, what we get?
It's up there.
They just buying time. They just buying time. Here's the part what I get. That's I want to break down the buying time part. If they already know who they want to hire, right? Doing all this unnecessary stuff ain't about to make this hire that they about to hire, but they ain't about to make him look no better.
Bro, it looks like your 15th option now.
It's basically gonna look worse. And at the same time, let's say it's Rick Brunson. Let's say it's Brunson's dad. Speculation. Doing this and then settling for Rick Brunson ain't about to make Rick Brunson look any better. Even if you hire Rick Brunson, it's gonna look nasty.
Because he's been in your building. He's been in your building, and you requesting all of these, and not even that, you requesting like head coaches from other teams
that got jobs.
Like, so it's like he's in your building, and you're just saying like, okay, nah, we want to hire this person. We want to hire this person.
But I get it that negativity sales. I get it, but this is all of what it is. But it's like I kind of think that I want to say this before I go. When Mark Jackson got let go for the Warriors, was that job that damn appealing that you thought that this team was really going to get over the hump and become what they were?
So
think about back then when you answered that.
I think it was appealing in a sense where they felt like a complete team, in a sense where it was like top to bottom, you had pieces, because it was Steph, it was Clay, Harrison Barnes, it was David Lee still there?
Yes.
David Lee, you had an up and coming Draymond. You had, was it Bogut, or he got there later?
Yeah, I think.
Or was it? It was
for the sake of that, he was there. Yeah.
Okay, and then I think you still had, like, don't laugh at me when I say this name, but he was still a big that did a little bit something. You have Festus Ezeli, and you had so again, to me, you still had some legit pieces, and those players were young, and Steph Curry just couldn't get his ankles right all the time. So to me, it felt more appealing because it was like, we got a little bit of everything that we need. And it was just like, let's make that move to try and get over the hump. This, I don't know.
Nah, hell no. Hell, I can't. No, nope.
Okay. Go ahead. Go.
You have a top 10 player in Jalen Brunson. I get it. He's a deficiency when it comes to defense, but you know that he's the clutch player of the year. He is Brunson. He is box office. You know what you're getting with him. You know what I'm saying? You know Miles Bridges is 3-and-D. You know Josh Hart, grit and grind. OG, you know what I'm saying? Still got some untapped potential. You know what Cat is. I don't give a damn how what you want to say. You ain't about to say Cat trash. You know what I'm saying? Cat got some deficiencies that he got to work out, but you're not about to sit here and act like Cat is trash. And you know Mitchell Robinson is one of the best defensive centers in the league. You know what I'm saying? So when we sit there and we talk about this starting five right there, and then we, I know they ain't really got no bet, but when you talk about that lineup, bro, if you're a real live coach, you can do something with this thing. Don't sit here and tell me that this team is ass. Act like this. I know you didn't say this team. Hold on. I know you didn't say
all I said was
but you can sit there. This team got potential. If I'm a coach, bro, I can do something with this, bro. Like, you know, I can do something with this.
But here's my retort. So where I was going with this is saying, top to bottom, I feel like that team, like that Warriors team, had a lot more, and I don't think
it had second round.
But also, they couldn't get it past that second round in the West, and also, I feel like they
couldn't beat the Clippers, and the Clippers kept losing there. Everybody else that was real.
They had their issues while they was losing though sometimes, because also Chris Paul couldn't stay healthy. But what I will say is, I feel like top to bottom, I think they have more. And what I was going to say is the reason why I was going to say I don't know is because I've seen Tibbs. I think Tibbs has a baseline of really being able to do a whole lot of shit. And this don't necessarily include Jalen Brunson, but a whole lot of good shit with a lot of role players because of how, like, his style of like coaching and like the hustle that he gets out of people. I don't know if you bring in another coach, you are going to necessarily be able to bring out some of those things from some of these players. Like, we saw Josh Hart, and I don't know if another coach can get that out of Josh Hart. Like, I don't like, yes, we saw what Mitchell Robinson can do, but to me also, like, I know the pressure that Tibbs puts on, like, and how he coaches and puts on a lot of players. And so I think Tibbs' knock was just not being able to draw up a whole bunch of stuff offensively with Jalen Brunson. And yes, I understand that. But then again,
that's a whole dynamic, bro. That's a whole different dynamic. That changes the whole dynamic of the team.
But I'm getting to my point. You bring someone else in, they may not be able to be as, like, you know, get as what they got out of them defensively, and still might not be good offensively. A lot of these dudes may still be offensively capped. You may still have issues because you might get the Mikal Bridges who still don't want to go into the paint and bang with nobody, and he just settles for jump shots, and that kind of changes the dynamic and like messes up the spacing on your team and stuff like that. So those parts may still be that kind of, you know, limited offensively, and you might not be as good defensively, and that could still that could give you a worse product. I kind of liken it to basically, it's like, okay, when you signed Mike D'Antoni, you knew, hey, we gonna be good offensively.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Defensively, we gonna suck. And so come playoff time, we just gotta hope everything goes right and we get a little bit lucky and we keep people healthy. If we can do that, we got a chance. And then, all right, go ahead.
This person is not. I'm sorry, bro. I mean, cut you off. This person is not available. But you put Rick Carlisle on this Knicks team
because I think Rick Carlisle is a better coach all around.
But what would he be doing differently? He would be getting some untapped potential out of some of these other players.
Right. But so what I'm saying is
that might have been that might have been a bad example because, like I said, Rick Carlisle is one of the upper echelon coaches. So I'll concede on that was a bad example on that.
And so what I was about, like, what my rebuttal was to that was, I'm specifically talking about firing Tibbs for who's available.
Once again, we get that. Let me personalize it right quick. Los Angeles Lakers hired Darvin Ham because he was a locker room guy. He's supposed to be a locker room guy. He's supposed to get the players coach. He's supposed to play the player morale was supposed to be his thing, right?
Yep.
Now, X's and O's was definitely not his thing. We knew that. But once you lost the player morale part, your expertise, why are you here, right?
For sure.
We get rid of you. You bring in the JJ. Of course, I did not want JJ, but you bring in the JJ, and then what did JJ do for the regular season? Start implementing an actual offense for this team. This is way before they got Luka. Way before they got Luka. He started actually implementing the actual offense and started unlocking some of these players. It's a different dynamic. It showed a different dynamic for this team. Now, in the playoffs, he was a rookie. He was way over his head. He got exposed in that aspect. You know what I'm saying? Or the roster got exposed for that aspect. So that could be a bad example, but just pay attention to what I'm saying. We know what Tibbs is.
For sure.
Tibbs might have reached his ceiling with this roster. You know what I'm saying? For him to actually refusing to play a bench, and what I said, go get him a bench if you're going to keep Tibbs, but you didn't keep Tibbs. It's ways to go about it. It's ways to get OG. It's ways that you can unlock OG offensively. And you unlock him offensively, you know he's gonna bring you something on the defensive end. Miles Bridges, as we've seen him in numerous stops. We know, Mikal. I'm sorry. We know what Mikal is. We know what his strength is. We know what his weakness is. Once again, Josh Hart been the same Josh Hart everywhere he been at. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
You might have got a little bit of, a better Josh Hart at some point, but at the end of the day, Josh Hart been the same everywhere he been. He grit and grind. You know he lunch pail. You know what you getting. You know what I'm saying? You get a coach. Now, prime example, if you get a coach that can actually get a two-man game, that can develop a two-man game with Brunson and Cat, that unlocks a total dynamic, bro, of this team, bro.
For sure. But what I'm saying is, you can try and do that, but not everything you're going to get is a Mark Jackson to a Steve Kerr.
Absolutely.
That does like just because a coach, you feel like a coach has plateaued with the talent that he has.
Yeah, for sure.
Doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get a coach that can take you over the hump. And that's what I'm saying is sometimes people have to realize, hey, you got pretty damn far without having a championship roster. Like, to me, I don't believe they had a Larry O'Brien roster. They built that roster from a lot of people said they built that roster to beat the Celtics. So, okay, if you built that roster to beat the Celtics and you beat the Celtics, I think you achieved your goal. And also, if you built that roster to beat the Celtics and you didn't build that roster to just win a Larry O'Brien, when you go up against a team that is a bad matchup for you, and I don't necessarily think that they can say, oh, we were just a clear-cut better team than the Indiana Pacers. To me, I think you make a mistake in firing the coach, and that's why. And that's we've been on
the same page. And you know what? I went solo on the episode when I talked about Tibbs. But my bad. We've been on the same page about firing Tibbs. Sure. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't advocating for firing Tibbs. Now I'm trying to right the wrong. You feel what I'm saying?
But to me, sometimes how can you right the wrong when you shouldn't have just did it? Like when it's like just don't do the wrong.
Because I do think Mike Malone could at least get the team to the same exact level. And if they can get the team to the exact level, then firing Tibbs really ain't that bad.
But
could the exact same level is either conference final. And hey, anything goes at that point.
Right.
And, it's about matchup.
My thing is like
I do think Mike Malone could do this.
But also
especially
again, Mike Malone is a kind of unknown as well because, hey, dog, you also had Jokic.
Yeah, you did.
That's a whole different ball game. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
When you have like when you have an actual great, like, and I'm not just talking about like just like this, like a generation, like cross generational great. So that's a little bit different. So, but like, stay there with
Jokic. Stay there with Jokic. And this was the first one cut you off. Stay there with Jokic. I know the rest of the roster.
The rest of the roster, okay, MPJ, regular. But when Jamal
when I say regular, I'm not saying that they trash. I'm saying they're OG Obanumbi, Mikal Bridges, Karl Anthony Towns. You know, Josh Hart. For sure. But KCP ain't Josh Hart. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, right. But what I'm saying is, you don't have an all-time great, so it's a little bit different. So okay, Jalen Brunson, a healthy Jamal Murray. We're gonna go Jalen Brunson there, but
yeah, all day.
Like, you know what I'm saying? But
you don't have a Jokic. I get your point. You
don't have a Jokic, and not only do you not have a Jokic is the like complete engine. Like everything like plays perfect. Like all those pieces play perfect. Your offense runs because of Jokic. Your defense, even say what you want. Like your defense is able to do the things that it does because of Jokic. You be able to you can run in transition because of Jokic. You get open shots because of Jokic. All of that plays into Jokic.
But everything else after Jokic, the Knicks had better than.
Right.
Everything. And on top of that, Jokic was a liability on defense before, right? He was a
was.
liability. You can't get Cat to be active. I ain't even say average. I said active.
But see, the thing is, you got to get Cat active on defense and not do dumb fouls on defense too, so he can be in the game, and that's hard.
That's hard.
That's hard. So again, I'm not. So all I'm strictly saying is, I don't think this was the right move because of what's available. And then now you interviewing all of these dudes that have jobs. Now it just makes it seem like, yo, why? Like now it just makes it seem like, why did you fire him? Because that's what people was thinking. Like, oh, like they going to get Mike Malone. Well, then
he might well just stay at ESPN. I'm Mike Malone.
Yeah, like, because why are you bringing in everybody but Mike Malone and all of that? It's just ridiculous.
I got Ryan said Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson will make perfect sense for New York. He's from New York.
He's never gonna get another job ever again.
It's weird, bro. Like you say, he's from New York, played in New York. Like you said, he could be worse than Tibbs, and the nostalgia and the feel in New York would be so great for.
At least they'll be happy.
Yeah, but I mean, we already know he blackballed to the highest extent, man. This is crazy. If y'all would have seen your pre-production, bro, these topics are supposed to be filler topics. Before we got to the actual finals, and that's the problem, bro. We did not intentionally disrespect the finals, bro. We have been getting a great finals.
We did.
This is a great, may be a strong word. I get it, but we're living in the moment. It's a great finals for what I'm watching right now, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are getting we're getting matchups. We're getting strategy. We're actually getting basketball. You know what I'm saying? Yep. What we've been asking for the longest. And I'm gonna just come out and say it. I do have I have the Thunder winning tonight. They have to win tonight. If they don't win tonight, we can go ahead and just start getting the parade ready for Indiana. Mm-hmm. I don't give a damn. They're not coming back from 3-1. I don't care who they got, MVP, whatever. I don't care. They are not coming back 3-1 from this playoff Pacers. Nah, hell no. They gotta win tonight.
Yeah, I just think that, again, when we talk about matchups, I think people really underestimated who the Pacers were. Because, Tyrese Halliburton, he has those games where he goes quiet and it looks bad, but like we just talked about Jokic. Tyrese Halliburton is the engine of this team. Like, he plays like, just like a true, hey, I'm getting everybody involved. I could also get my shots. I can get my bucket. When Tyrese Halliburton come out and he's aggressive early and he start hitting them shots and still getting everybody involved, it gets spooky really quick, because the way that team plays with pace and stuff, it gets tough, especially when they're at home and you get a Benedict Mathurin hitting shots. You get Nembhard hitting shots. You get Obi Toppin, cleaning up the glass, getting put back dunks, hitting like 3 threes in a row. Mm-hmm. Aaron Nesmith, all of that. It's just like those ancillary players go crazy. And it's like when Tyrese Halliburton could drop 30, and his 30 is still an everybody's involved 30. That's what makes this team so dangerous, because he can get 30 and everybody's still in rhythm. And that's what makes it so tough, because you can't just be like, okay, let him get 30 and we just gonna like guard everyone else. He get 30 and he's still making the right play. He's still on the boards and he's efficient, not having turnovers. And it's just like, it gets spooky, bro. They won and they had 75 turnovers.
Yeah. The thing about Halliburton is, if that last point that you made, like you said, he can get 30 and still get everybody involved. If he would just understand that aspect, like, if I come out aggressive, it changes the whole dynamic of everything. But at the same time, I'm not copping the plea for him. But I do understand bro.
I understand it for sure.
He's a quintessential traditional point guard. Those point guards mindset is to get everybody involved, man. So it's like, I get it. We're looking at him like, man, please, like, just give us 30, bro. Oh, just come out aggressive. And he like, nah, I gotta get my guys involved. I get it, because we in a different day and age, because your counterpart, SGA, is getting his. You know what I'm saying? It's just the Pacers, like I said. But if Chet and SGA get crafted tonight, it's curtain. They have to.
Yeah, they have to.
I have to. I have them winning tonight. Like, I have them winning tonight.
My point about this is, Chet and SGA can go. They can get crafty tonight. They can still lose with Chet and SGA getting buckets, because, like I said, it could be potential where it's like I said, all those names that I named, they all can mess around and go for 15. Like, even I can't remember what game it was. It was either game one. It might have been game one where Tyrese didn't have a great game, but it was like, I think Tyrese had 15, but damn near everybody else had 15.
Our guy just made a great point. Halliburton is a closer. He's better off that gets everybody on this team involved through the first 3 quarters. And that is a great point, because if everybody's involved, that means there's the less attention on him and he can eat. It's like, I get it, bro. We are in a different era where the guard score. Like, I get we the guard score. We get it. Score. But if you look at Halliburton for who he is a traditional, quintessential point guard.
And the reason why
if you view him from that lens, then the picture is very clear.
Right. And the reason why I say he needs to come out aggressive, I'm not saying coming out aggressive where he just got to, be jacket and have 27 points in the first quarter. But what I'm saying is, he's got to be aggressive in attacking the basket early and trying to get to his spots for his shots early. Because when he starts to see that, like when he starts to see it drop early, and that other team starts to see it drop early, that changes how they defend, and it makes the rest of the team it helps easier shots be made by the other team, because it causes breakdowns in the defense. It causes the help defense, and he's going to make the right play. So I'm like, of course, he is a closer.
Yeah.
But that's what we mean. And what our point was, just because, you are a traditional point guard, don't mean you got to defer and then wait till the fourth quarter to close it. You can be like, your 30 comes with everyone still being involved, because that's how you are, because you get to the cup. You can be efficient. So you can mess around and have, 12, 13, 14 points in the first half and still have other dudes that's involved, because guess what? Even when you have your 12, 13 point, first half or whatever, you're going to have 6 assists. You're going to have 4 or 5 assists, because that's the type of player you are. So that's what we mean. Like, it's like, that's why I'm not saying it's just better off that he gets everyone involved first. He is able to he's able to do all of that and allow all of that. So don't be so passive, because that's really when they start getting into these problems where they down 20 points, because he starts to get passive early. So he can be aggressive early and still get everyone involved and in rhythm.
My game plan, if I was the Thunder, was to make him be aggressive. I would take I think the old, if we remember, the old approach was when Chris Paul played for the Hornets and Chris Paul played for the Clippers. Make Chris Paul score. Make Chris Paul score. Make him want to be a scorer. Make him go out there and score, because in his mind, Chris Paul didn't want to score. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He didn't want to. Matter of fact, he didn't want to be a scorer. He wanted to get his players involved. Same thing as Halliburton. He wants to get his teammates involved. Nah, ain't nobody getting involved, dog. You go out there and you go get 30. But your 30 is 30. It ain't no 30 and 10. You know what I'm saying? It's just 30. You know what I'm saying? Now, if it's just 30 and Naismith got 10, Nembhard 5, Siakam 15, Miles Turner, 10. You feel Meredith, whatever.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? It's nasty.
The reason,
you get your ass whooped by that.
For sure. But what I am saying is, even if they I think if they try that, I think it can be tough because I think Tyrese is still crafty enough and clever enough to make things happen. And, my thing about small guards in the playoffs is, you can still make it tough on them offensively, even if they are, great pretty good offensively.
Yeah.
You can still make that a tough 30.
Yeah.
And there's a difference between Chris Paul and Tyrese Halliburton.
Mm-hmm.
And it's 5 inches. Happy Pride Month.
Absolutely. I was about to make a counterpoint, but why? Why do that? But at the end of the day, bro, you got Lou Dort, you got Caruso, you got SGA, you got Jalen Williams. Yeah. You have players that should be able to check Halliburton, and you be able to check the rest of these players, man. At the end of the day, like I said, I have the Thunder have to win. The Thunder have to win. And on top of that, I'm ready to concede. I do not have OKC in 6 anymore. I think this is going 7. After tonight, once they win, say it's gonna go back to OKC. Cool, OKC gonna win. Cool. It's gonna go back to Indiana. Indiana gonna win.
Yeah.
Indiana, you ain't shook.
It's tough. It's tough beating Indiana in Indiana, and they didn't already beat you at home.
You ain't shook Indiana yet.
Yeah.
Indiana had a horrible game one. You know what I'm saying?
Indiana is up 20-12 right now in the first.
Hey, you can catch us on major podcast platform. 3Man Weave, Instagram, Twitter, 3Man Weave _ You can email us at podcast.3.man.weave@gmail.com. I'm Hill. That's AJ. Some of y'all the 4s. Some of y'all the Fab 5. Come on, KC.
Chicago Sky is up 50-49. Let's go. Sky's the limit.